Welcome to the ALLEIGHT podcast. This is Adrian Pavard alongside me, my co-host Angelo Petrussout. We are back with episode 13.
Ons is
Binne.
here we go.
Exciting episode 13. We are back with a bang. JR's Corners in the house tonight. And then we're going to touch base with some Super Rugby results, SA Cup, and then obviously your Heineken Cup, your Challenge Cup, as well as obviously one of the important parts of our show, Club Rugby results.
Dis binne. Big news. Something big happened this past weekend. Kan ek die naam noem of wat? Currie het dit pak gevat binne in sy huis.
3 dae.
Ons los dit daar, los dit daar. Ons kom daar. Otherwise, Jaya is corner tonight on ALLEIGHT. Guys, what a phenomenal person, what a great guy. A very big story of himself, a great former Lions player. Came through the ranks from a small town. My name is Aston, man.
Nee?
Jaya Esterhuizen is in die huis. Moenie vergeet, guys. Subscribe,
Like,
share.
but please, before you do anything, click subscribe, sit back, take your popcorn, of as you will chippies, eat your chippies, because it's gonna be interesting episode 30.
Here we go. Zaya's Corner is in the house with ALLEIGHT. ALLEIGHT en Zaya's Corner is binne. Zaya,
Yes, meneer. Ek gee ons aan vat. Nee, lekker man.
Here we go.
Wie te wees vir julle?
Zaya, welcome here on our set. It's a privilege to have you here and thank you for your time. You avail yourself to be with us on ALLEIGHT. We as a family want thank you.
And thank the wife and the kids.
And thank the wife and the kids.
Baie belangrik meneer.
Vital. Maar is dit op die pad?
So JR, obviously we know you and we know that you played some big rugby, Currie Cup, etc. But we want to know the story of JR Esterhuizen. We know JR's Corners podcast is binne, but we want to know JR Esterhuizen. Who is JR Esterhuizen?
And behind Zaya's Corner.
Yo guys, now first and foremost, thank you for having me. I don't take it for granted, being here by you guys, sitting down with you guys. I remember when we spoke at the Cape Town Tens briefly, and we made a little video, and I was really excited, to know you guys are starting something, and I was actually driving here, and I started my thing. I was literally alone, just doing it, voice note in the car. That's how it started. Basically, hoe dit begin het was maar net, hy is die origin
100%,
van JR's Corner, maar as ek op level 1 begin het julle basies op level 10 begin. which ek dink is regtig amazing, en ek dink julle doen amazing werk. Community work, is nie net rugby nie, is nie net vir julle nie, julle benefit nie. Julle maak regtig 'n difference. Maar ja, JR, guys, mannetjie van Ashton.
Here we go. Here we go. Die lange weg is binne.
Rapping CBR, So yeah, basically a boy from Ashton, 7-year-old, had a dream becoming a professional rugby player, actually becoming a Springbok, as if you take the rugby ball, that's your thing, wil 'n Springbok word, So I was 7 years old and actually started with a bet. Me and my mom was het 'n bet gemaak. Ons het gespeel in Woester, daai dag. Eerste rugby game, en toe sê my ma vir my, kyk jy gee vir my R10 vir elke try wat ek skoor. And lo and behold, elke bal wat ek gekry het, elke bal,
Right time.
and I think that's basically where the dream started, just to say, listen here, I think I can do this, Basically started with athletics first, first athletics, hardloop voor, ek wen toe my eerste reis op skool, en ek sê, okay, nou, ek het nog so 'n picture wat ek hardloop en ek so bolle wange. I moment to van haar af toe dit soos okay, athletically het ek geweet, ek gifted, ek kon nie lekker stil sit in die klashokkie, was daar nie, die vrouens het gedink, hulle wil my op 'n ritteling gesit in die tyd. Toe sê my ouers, man, kyk, jy stimulate die kind meer, man, stimulate hom en dan gaan hy fyn is, maar toe die sport inkom, that's the moment when I realized, okay, so this is actually something that I enjoy doing. And I didn't know that time I'll make a career out of it, but I had a family and a support base that said, listen, they'll back me, support me, do everything they can, you know.
100%.
And I mean, we loved maybe 100 meter from the rugby field.
Yep.
He would know. He's been there once or twice in the area as well. So yeah, I mean, after school on the rugby field, just go home, maybe do a bit of homework, sort out, you know, do your home chores, and then to the rugby field. And that's where everybody meets in Ashton. Daar's niks om te doen, regtig, jy weet.
Tatsie.
Gaan speel tatsie, skop 'n bietjie drywings, gaan 'n bietjie rond met die bal speel met al die kinders. Ek bedoel all ages from grade 0 to
100%.
grade whatever in high school, you know. So then we just play ball, and that's where you basically refine your skills, you know, and learn how to step and to pass and to kick. And so I think that's where the dream started, you know.
Then Zayar, what role did sport play in shaping you as a person?
Sure, good question, eh? I think that sport actually gave me a lot of discipline, you know, first and foremost discipline, and obviously like a lot of accountability, you know. Working together in a team environment, I think that's something very awesome that sport does, you know. And obviously social skills, you know, learning how
100%.
to work with people from different backgrounds, different homes. I mean, even if you colored people together, you come out of different types of homes, you know. And now you throw in a different races, so now it's a whole different cultures, you know. So you learn how to interact with different people, and also like I think sport teaches you how do I say already, accountability, like obviously self-discipline as well, you know. There's certain things you have to do, you know, to tick the boxes to become a better player, you know. So I think that's what sport did for me in that sense. I think as an adult, it obviously that just went into the, you know, adult world in a work environment. Same thing, you know, through sport. And I think the next part was where my journey took me. So basically primary school, Ashton Primary. Ashton Primary until grade 7. Was lucky enough to make the Boland under 13 team to go play in Wellington. Ons eerste game ons speelt in die bulle. Meneer.
Nothing nice.
No, not good. Ons gooi eerste. Hy moet gee vir ons 40. Open die game, ek sal dit nie vergeet nie. But yeah, that's fun memories, you know. And then I was scouted from there to go to Paul Gymnasium. I was lucky enough, I was actually hoping to go there, you know. And then I think after the Caribbean week, my coach came with a letter to say, listen, yeah, it's an opportunity to go to the school. Let's go do a meeting with principal, have a meeting with him, set up a meeting, and then to see, then it was for a 5-year bursary to go to Paul Gymnasium, which I'm very grateful for, because there I was able to obviously refine my skills, hone my skills, om eintlik nog 'n beter rugby speler te word. Ek sal dink die ding met die groot skole sal ek sê, baie mense vra soos wat is die verskil tussen 'n groot skool en 'n you know, 'n kleiner skool. The difference sal ek sê is net 'n culture, verstaan jy? It's not that the coaches are better equipped. They also teach us, but just because the school has a rich history of producing great players.
Then Zayar, on the thing you mentioned now about the schools, dink jy dat ons het laas week gesê in ons episode 12 het gesê dat dink julle dat kleiner clubs en unies as 'n feeding scheme vir SARU of vir die groter unions? Nou selfs met skole. Wat dink jy? Dink jy die skool speel regtig 'n groot rol waar hy is en wat 'n skool is om te kom waar hy wil wees in terme van wil jy 'n Springbok wees, wil jy vir die Lions speel, wil jy vir die Sharks speel? Kyk, jy kom met 'n system uit. Jy het vir die Lions gespeel. Dink jy regtig as 'n persoon? Hoekom ek vra so, dink jy as Zayar dat jou skool maak saak?
Ja, kyk hier ja, ek dink 'n skool, jou skool maak regtig 'n verskil, dink ek. Maar ek dink dit gaan ook op die individu af, you know.
Yes.
It's about the individual. If you have that determination to say, listen, yeah, I'm in whichever school, I don't want to say a name, but a smaller school, and you have an aspiration of becoming a Springbok, for instance, like, for argument's sake. So you obviously gonna have to work harder, because at the end of the day, when it goes to trials and those type of stuff, you might have to play 10 more trials than the guy that went to Boys Eye, Paul John, Paul Rose, because remember those guys go into elite squad.
Yeah.
So we were put in the elite squad. So now you see, these guys play 20 trials, you play 4 trials, and the team's already selected, you know. So if you come out of a smaller school, the chance for you to get through is much harder, you know. But with that said also, if you still, like, there's a lot of opportunities, man. Like, I see you guys, I see the message you guys also try to push, man. You know, you try to encourage the youngsters, listen, there's more opportunities. And that's also a message that I personally try to drive, is because I see the opportunity we have in South Africa, but it's almost like a few players can come through and make it, you know.
100%.
As you can see.
Yeah.
But there's opportunities outside of South Africa, and not just saying you're going to go play top 14. There's smaller second, third tier countries where you can go make good money, you can have a good life, you can go study further that side, you know.
100%.
So, but to answer your question, yeah, it is more difficult to make it out of a smaller school. Like, you know, jy kom met Monticello, no?
100%.
Okay, ons weet daar's groot name wat in Monticello
Ja, as big names. Ronald Brown.
Ja,
Allerlei name is daar.
Brown en daar is heel wat talent en talent wat die mense nie eens van weet nie.
100%.
As ek nou terugdink aan Aston Laerskool ook, daar was ouens wat ingekom het en joh, verdwyn het ook in die system, you know, in die system. Snyman kom ook uit ons Laerskool.
Junior Springbok.
Junior Springbok, jy moes ook kon ook 'n Springbok gewees het. But yeah, that comes down to the environment, opportunity, and, you know, backing, you know.
Yeah,
that type of thing.
100%.
But I think now there is somewhat much more, let's say, more opportunities for youngsters. I mean, back then we had two teams. I mean, you had your Crane Week and your Academy Week.
Your high school team?
I was at Milnerton High School.
Milnerton,
High School. So, I mean, back then we weren't seen as a.
They made the Allendon, eh?
Yeah, they made the
same year.
No. He's I think your age. I think.
Okay.
And
What do you say? Your age?
Daar we go. Dit is still a young
So, going back to that topic, I mean, back then we were only, you had your Academy Week and you had your Academy Week. Daar was hier Academy Week A and Academy Week B and Academy A and Academy B. Now they have that, and that gives them more a better opportunity to make it. Look, you're still gonna have your big schools. That's still gonna be obviously the main feeders. But here and there we see a few more guys. Let's say from smaller schools. And I mean, nowadays Milnerton High is seen as a up and coming.
Now obviously like a guy
also has a feeding scheme.
Yeah, a feeding scheme. I will say with feeding scheme. So convinced.
The rugby feeding scheme, boys. Come on.
But Jayar, on that topic, obviously you played at a higher level, played Currie Cup, etc. And with that being said, there's lots of challenges that we as rugby players face. And that got to do with a lot of mental health, and I think that's one topic we spoke about in our previous shows, where us as players and coaches don't see the put it as so the importance of mental health. And you mentioned offset about you obviously struggled with your mental health. If you want to share it with the people, how was it like, and the challenges you faced
during that phase?
So basically, in terms of mental health, I feel like we need to educate our own people, you know, just about mental health, what it is and what it means. And obviously, if you were quote unquote maybe diagnosed with something, you know, either depression, anxiety, you know, PTSD, whatever, you know, came from the doctor's notebook or whatever, you know. So we have to educate our people on it. And as rugby players, obviously we already go through so many stuff, you know. It's setbacks, it's coaches not picking you. Jy is nie goed genoeg nie, of you were injured and
drop out of the system.
Drop totally out of the system, you know. And maybe one coach favors you, whatever the case may be, you know. So, you know, we also go like this. It's like a roller coaster in rugby. So that's basically mentally how it goes as well, you know. So in my time at the Lions, to be fair, to be honest, I never really believed in like depression and stuff like that, man. Like, just to say it bluntly, like I just thought it's something in your head that people come up with, you know, just to feel like, okay, they want to feel a little bit tired or, you know, whatever. But I was very ignorant until I got depressed, you know, and went into a depression slump. So that was probably in 2014. So I was at the Lions at the time, still contracted for about probably 2 years, with 2 years left of my contract. And then, I just went through a period. So it was in between Varsity Cup and Super Rugby. So the Varsity Cup, the Super Rugby squad was selected. So that period, I wasn't selected for the Super Rugby squad, where I thought I could have been in contention, They brought a few players from outside and, other unions and stuff. I was like, I'm here, I'm waiting in line, not getting opportunity, not getting a shot. And then I got sent for the second season back to Varsity Cup. So during that period, a few things happened in my personal life as well. But then I went through like a emotional dip, man, So I felt like, when you feel like you don't want to get out of bed, you just like in a dark place, man. Even training, normal things, normal day-to-day things, like you don't feel the joy out of it, man. So then I knew something wasn't like, because I don't enjoy going to gym, training, anything, And I spoke to my family and stuff, and there was also days that I just didn't want to get out of the house, man, So we realized I need to see somebody, I need to get somewhere, to speak to, maybe a psychologist or somebody, just to talk about, unpack, of what's happening. So to take you a bit further back, when I was 16, I lost my mom. Also, it was through a few traumatic events building up to that as well, and her passing was also pretty traumatic for me as a 16-year-old. And I think through that, so that was also things that almost bottled up, pent up, And I had to obviously go back. Now you talk to, the psychologist, and you have to talk about all those things that, that you thought, it's stuff from the past, man.
Now it's catching up to...
It's basically catching up in a different way, in your life, the way the pressure comes up. So that's one of the factors, but I obviously had to work through that, and then it moved over into if your viewers, if they understand like what it is if they talk about mania, So mania is basically the opposite of the depression, So it's like you're more on a high, the natural type of high, but it's a chemical imbalance in your brain, man, you see. So that's what happened to me on the flip side of the depression. So I got through the depression, and it was maybe a week or 2-3 weeks after, where I was just like on a different type of high, like an energy level that's not natural, You can't sleep, you suffer from a bit of insomnia as well. I think I slept like 2 hours, maybe some nights, and I'm awake the next day, but I'm awake, like, felt like I had a full night's rest. So I went on through like a space of 2 weeks of going through that period, where it ended up eventually in a car accident. Long story short, there's a lot of stuff that happened in between. Ended up in a car accident, which I almost lost my life. I could have lost my life, totaled the car, and I walked out unscathed, which I think was a miracle. And then from there, the process, I had to start, finding out what's happening, what's wrong with this Brian. Was sent to a psychiatric facility where they basically did, tests, and, on medication and stuff like that. And through the evaluation, they figured, listen, based on the symptoms that I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Okay.
Yeah. So since then, been on medications. It's over for maybe 10 years now, 11 years. I think this year is the 11th year. Been on medication and all that. So it's with mental health, it's an ongoing thing. It's not a thing. It never stops. So you still go through stuff. Moments, highs, lows, everything. So I think, and I think for us as men, man, especially rugby players, like, scared to talk about it, man.
100%.
Yeah, what they're gonna think of this, bro? Everyone's talking about emotions and feelings, Leave that, we play rugby here. But you don't know that next, bro, might be thinking about even just taking his life, bro. You don't even know that until you talk to him and he starts talking about it. Listen, I'm actually going through this or that, or somebody's going through it, So you're affected by it.
100%.
No, 100%. I think the problem with a lot of us, we have a lot of pride, man. We don't wanna, we too selfish to share stories, and I think that, well, I really must take my hat off for you for obviously it's
100%.
It's a battle that well, I know a few people that's been through that as well, and it's tough to see people going through that without knowing it.
100%.
And sharing a story like that, it for me personally, it touched me because I know I've seen people in that situation and it's not nice.
Yeah.
And for the youngsters out there, if you are struggling with
Sure.
whether it's a small thing and you are too afraid to talk to your parents, too afraid to talk to coaches,
Yeah.
teachers, if you want to, pop us an email, pop us a message.
100%.
We can always try
There's also
and get
there's a
back
lot
to-
of suicide. There's a suicide helpline basically that
Yeah.
can give you all the tools. I think there's a chat line as well. Maybe we can throw up the number afterwards.
100%.
100%.
So they can talk to somebody as well.
So guys, based on what Zaya just said, so for me personally, I think depression in sport is real.
It's
Yeah.
real.
Depression in sport is real, and certain players or some players can't handle rejection, or
Yeah.
I didn't make the team, so it's difficult for them. You understand? So if you know you struggle with it, maybe you're not mentally strong enough for it, for the rejection,
Yeah.
go and pop a question or pop a message. You can even pop Zaya's corner because he's a first-hand experience of it. He can help you understand. So guys, I think this thing is real. Sometimes I never experienced depression in my life yet. I don't know what's life throwing at me, but just that days, man, you don't want to get up because you just want to.
I mean, I had that when I got my first injury.
Yeah.
So it was real.
Yeah.
I mean, I started drinking and well, it's not nice. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. And it's difficult coming out of that because obviously life throws curveballs at you and if you don't know how to get out there, it can become a dark place.
Yeah,
let's put it
but
that
some
way.
curveballs are very dangerous in life. Some curveballs are very dangerous, so you need to be alert
Yeah.
in your depression, right? I know you're not in your own space, in your own mind space, but yo guys, I think to ask for advice is for free, man.
Yeah. True.
Really.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys outside there on social media who can help you. Yes, guys. Yes, they are. Please, man. Don't hesitate. This guy will assist you.
Ja, gaat dit chats.
Listen,
Joking.
but on a positive, obviously, you have some great moments with the game in terms of like memorabilia moments in your head. Talk us through
Yo,
one
bruh.
of your memorable moments, whether it may be a try, with maybe a tackle, with maybe a person you played against.
Oh,
It could be anything.
Yeah, to be fair, like I can't narrow it down to a try. I scored a lot of tries.
Just a sure.
I can't put it down to one moment, man. But I would say playing first team for my high school. I think that was a big thing, especially my grade 11 year. We had an unbeaten side. So it was our 150th anniversary year, Paul Jum. So it was myself, Louis Krede,
Alle big names.
Jalmut Leeman, Ruan Smith, those boys. So we had Jacqueline Rogers. I don't know if the people that's watching, they might know, some of the guys that played with us. And wow, we had a, dream team, man. That team met niks kan verkeerd gaan nie. Alles gaan reg. Ek weet nie of julle aan so 'n span was
Die
nie.
hele puzzle was daar.
Alles.
Die hele
Perfect, bro. Perfect. Van 1 tot 23. Het
Op
was-
een bekomma, ik denk dat dit zo spannend gaat. 2018.
Ja.
Was die één game verloren?
Unimo.
Nee,
Lucy.
IWK.
Oh,
ja, die
was die Shield 2018. Toen zijn
oké.
we praten met Tristan Leitz, Currie Arendse,
Wow.
Clayton Daniels.
Sure.
All of them. Kerry Owens, ja.
Yo, great stuff, man. Kijk maar, sorry, voor ik nog verder ga. Hoe was Currie uit geweest, man? Ik heb hem gezien in zijn jongere dagen, voordat hij nog reden
Maar die
was.
dat is die rij.
Humble. Ik denk is one of the most humblest people I've ever played with.
Nee.
One of the most calmest people I've ever played. Hy is 'n man. As hulle sê 1 minute to go, dan trek hy aan sy soekies. Ja nee.
Okay.
Rustig. Man sê
Rustig.
kyk as jy wil kalm word en dis op jou nerves,
sit
dan
daar
sit
op.
net langer.
Hij heeft zo'n vibe dat hij afgeeft,
Hy
zien ze.
hy maak jou net kalm. Easy.
Nee, ik kan het zien. Hoe hij is. Wat ik net zo zie met die media en zo. En hij is,
Hij maar,
Nee,
hij
maar
is nog performerig en niks.
die ding wat die media niet weet van hem, hij heeft een nickname bij ons gehad. Coach Bolla van Begeer het. Allemaal ken hom as Currie Irons. Hy man is Tupac.
Tupac.
Hy man is Tupac.
Tupac of Cubbit.
Tupac of Cubbit.
Kubbert, hoe was het Kubbert? Was hij?
Yo, ek wens ons kan vir Coach Bolla besien om die hype ons te sien. Want jy weet Coach Bolla kon daar het almal 'n naam.
Okay.
Ek by IWK kom sê is dit Montiki.
Montiki.
Was dit Montiki? Dis nie nog 'n naam, dit is Montiki. Klaar wat dit so is.
Nah, but he was a calm. He was calm. And
No.
he was. I still till today
Yeah.
never would. I mean, I learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the youngsters. Like it's all flashy, earphones in. Sy weet, luister, moenie girl 'n boodskap sê, dankie
Here we go.
baby for. I feel like
baby.
now. Ja, die man is nie by sy sulke man. Sy weet.
Hij stuurde 3 verschillende series dieselfde boodschap. Ja, baby, dankie vir skat.
I mean, like I feel like ik voel like if I was back then, if I took all the pressure off me, I think I would have played 10 times better.
Sure.
Like now, currently the way I am,
You
like,
chilled.
I'm chilled.
Yeah, just take it easy.
Not even say worried me, you know. Just
Nah, kijk, to be fair, to touch on that with the guys, the pre-game stuff. So in our grade 8 team, come and say at Paul Jim, Garth, April, they more than
Yeah.
So we had the whole Wellington squad. It was Garth. There was a few other guys also, but obviously Garth was the one that stood out of all of them. So those gents used to struggle with transport, you know. So as ons game day gewees het, kyk jy nou, ons is kosses laat, ons kom van die kosses af, klaar, alles uitgesoort, ek het die aand voor die tyd met boots gepolies, sak is reg gedag, alles is mooi netjies, maar hy maar nou kom by die game aan, die mekaar, kyk jy as, jy het die sokkies sien, krijg jy hier 'n paar dit, krijg jy daai, kyk jy bro, maar as hy maar nou speel bro, yes, like, nou sê ek moet in die zone gewees het, heel tyd, dan speel ek 'n alright game, ek het voor niks speel, ek het nog gevoel ek niks special gedoen het. Hy man nou kom en is soos, die mekaar, die man, dit kyk jy, ek het draf hy man nou op, dan sit, chaos bro, chaos op die veld. So daai het ek nogal gevat van hulle weer, in terms of, ag jy hoef super, jy weet, dit werk nie vir almal nie, maar vir hulle het dit gewerk. But yeah, back to the initial question. It took a slight U-turn and off, but yeah, so that team, daai eerste span wat ons gehad het by Gim, het was amazing. Ons was ons eerste game het ons gespeel, dink dit was teen Tiger Club geweest man. Toe sê hulle alright, ons speel in hulle under 19s. Dink ons gee vir hulle 100. Sjoe. En ek skoor een try in hy game bro. Almal skoor rondom by die pak, skoor almal. Die laaste try, gee Louis my net so 'n bal in die middel. Ek kyk net so rond, ek sê, "Kop." Ek skiet nou so 'n backflip, jy weet hy backflip die druk voor. Ek sê, "Nee, wag, nou is ek in die mix in man." Skop die scorebord. En aan af toe gooi ons Argentinië toe. Nee, ons gaan eers St. Stadions toe. Toe gaan ons Argentinië toe. Toe by St. Stadions was dit toe waar ek, dis 'n special moment vir my gewees toe, weet jy wat coach Timmy ken nie, Kurun. Hy is van Montetjie by die Leeu's coach en 'n scout en so aan. En toe speel ons teen Noord-Kaap, Noord-Kaap. Eerste game en ek speel op einde van 'n game bro. Soos, jy weet alles wat kan goed gaan man. Brikkie lyn, chip size, enige dings, jy weet.
Hele dag.
Ek skoor, ek sit die manne weg rondom my maar, jy weet.
Dit klink soos Hazel Goodman.
Kijk, ja bro, en alles gebeur net man en na die tyd toe kom die Leeu's scouts na my toe en hulle praat saam en so. So daai is hoe my journey met die Leeu's begin. Ja, so ek sal sê special moments, first team vir Gim. Ek sal sê toe hulle my selected vir Currie Cup, ek dink hy was, of het was eerste Super Rugby was ek op die bench gewees. So ek speel in een season, Varsity Cup, Vodacom Cup, Super Rugby, en toe na Currie Cup kry ek my eerste paar starts in die Currie Cup. In een season. So ek dink hy jaar, 2012 season was soos vir my ook 'n special.
Hy was 'n special jaar.
Was 'n special jaar gewees, ja.
And then, JR, obviously, a piece of advice that you can give to youngsters out there in terms of just pure advice. Of rugby, just advice.
Yeah, over rugby,
just advice.
I would say, listen, yeah, if I could give advice to my kids also, I have 2 little girls that have me wrapped around my
Two
finger
busy
like
girls,
this.
eh?
Very busy, bro, honestly. The one says she wants to be an Olympian, the other one, I don't know what she wants to be. She gives off a lot of CEO energy, the small one, so I don't know. But yeah, advice, I would say that when I came here, I thought about, I'm also, I won't say religious guy, but a faithful guy, you know. I believe in only one Father, you know. That's Jesus Christ. So I would say put God first in everything you do, you know. Put God first, the rest of it would follow, you know. So that would be the message that I would push through to youngsters. And don't be scared to believe in yourself and to dream, you know, because obviously your dream and your vision is not mine.
Yeah.
100%.
And I can't shoot your dream or your vision down, you know, because that's what God put in your mind. Even your mom, your pa, your mom and your dad might not even believe in that dream, you
Exactly.
know.
Yeah.
But it's for you to believe in it and for you to push through and to persevere and to actually make a success out of it. Because that's, if I could give advice to my 7-year-old self, it would be basically that you followed your dreams. Yes, you didn't become, you know, the Springbok 50 caps, the Baraina Bana, you know, which you had in your mind.
Yeah.
But that's not what God had for you. You had to take it a certain extent.
100%.
So I can say people around me, they saw, nah, it's possible, you know, out of Aston. Iemand kom uit Aston uit. Iemand het op die TV rugby gespeeld, you know, that's the thing. Nah, but it's op die TV geweest. So yeah, I think that's the message, man.
There you go. Yeah, you heard it first here from JR's Corner. Small village, Green Peak. Rugby results. Obviously, we had the Challenge Cup. Edinburgh versus the Blue Bulls. Obviously, I never expected that. 34-28. Ospreys going down to the Lyon. 18-20. Connacht losing to Racing. 43, sorry. And then obviously Bath destroying Gloucester. 61-26. Then the Heineken Cup, obviously the leading team, I would say that I think is gonna it's gonna win the Heineken Cup is Leinster.
Don't peak too soon. Don't peak too soon.
52 points to 0 against Glasgow Warriors.
Sure.
Obviously, you heard the news. Rico Ioane has signed for 2026 to Leinster.
Apparently it's fake news.
It's not fake news. It is valid. He made the statement on his Instagram. Rico Ioane going to Ireland, which is a shocker because it never looked like he liked Irish people. But nevertheless, Bodo Bigler beating Munster 47-29. Then Northampton beating Castro 51-16, and then
Big scores.
Toulon losing to Toulouse 21-18.
Sure.
Tough.
It's a nail
It's
biter.
heavy.
It's really it was a tough encounter on Sunday, but I mean the best team won, we can say.
100%.
And then obviously the Mana Super Rugby.
Shoot.
Hurricanes going down to Crusaders 31-24. Waratahs upsetting the Chiefs 21-40.
I expected it.
Blues
Top.
top team. I never expected the Chiefs to lose though.
Yeah.
In honesty. Blues beating Moana Pacifica
That was a bit of a shock,
36-17.
yeah.
I personally thought Moana was gonna beat
But
them.
I think the momentum had to go down somewhere.
100%.
But I think
I think this
they
type
have a champ of a captain and I think words inspire people. I think that's my message.
Hoe sê hulle in
Words inspire
Domino's?
people.
Hy's 'n verloorklop. As al sien.
Islanders beating Fiji drew 43-20. And then the Reds going down to the Brumbies, which was a shocker. 26-39.
I expected tight scoring because Australian derby.
Yeah. And then obviously we had our SA Cup. And one game that stood out for me there is the Falke, who came from behind with 40 points to 7 at halftime,
Crazy.
beating the Griffins 45-40.
Can I come in there? JR, if you was a coach leading a team 40 plus points to 7.
Yeah.
Yo,
Ik laat die jongens jou vigal.
Yo.
Hulle sal jou bol raak, man.
wat sal jy doen?
Yo, bro. Hij is crazy, bro. Het klinkt namens dus matchfixing. Als je een beter was, dan zou je zeggen, mensen gaan net 44 red. Maar die zal ik denken is waar.
Yo, boys, maar dat...
We're definitely going to show you guys some highlights. We need to.
Yeah,
I mean, it
definitely.
was really great rugby from Falke and up to you
The
guys.
hand skills, you're the end.
Daarom, hè?
Sure.
Nee, boys, helemaal daarin loop. Kom een week uit die. Yo.
And then, obviously, Cheetah's back to winning ways. Your Greek was back to winning ways.
Cheetah had to win that game because I
Vital.
saw an article, France that
Yeah.
said they're going to have to close the doors.
Doors.
If they even
and
do
I
that
think-
one.
and
I don't think they're gonna close it. I think
Yeah.
they back in it with that win against the Griffins.
And I think that's 87 points is good for the point difference as well.
Yeah,
Against who was that?
that was against
SVD.
Vangela, SVD. Yeah. And then obviously the ALLEIGHT Pumas showing the form. But, I mean, what can
Yeah.
you say? They
Yeah,
all
6-a-side cricket scores, bro.
Maybe.
80 for 10.
Yo,
It's a Mr. now,
here we go.
And then obviously
The big thing.
The big thing for us.
big
I mean,
thing.
for us it's a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
Club Rugby, Super League A,
Alive and well.
Super League B,
Super
and
League C.
Super League C.
Yeah,
Huh?
we
Ik mean,
go.
let's start off. Let's just start off. If we look at the nail biter between Helderberg and Falsbay, guys,
Sure.
come on.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
see that try of that scrum off of them?
she was
Wow.
amazing try there
Yo,
from
I think-
Visser.
Yeah.
I think it was bad defense of Falsman as well because it looks so easy, man.
But speed kills.
Okay, speed
Kills. I think,
But great try.
I mean, Falsbay scoring in the dying minutes in the corner. Unfortunately, Mikael Jefter couldn't convert, but I mean, it was accurate. But I know it was tough, bro. But don't worry, stay strong.
You win some, you lose some.
Stay strong, brother.
Here we
Stay
go.
strong. And then obviously there were some milestones as well. Darren Jefter getting 50 caps, the captain of Falsbay. Tariq Allen, 50 caps.
Sure.
And then Lucania obviously getting 100
100
caps
caps.
for Falsbay. I mean,
crazy.
great.
That guy
And
can
well
tackle.
done for you guys. The contribution you guys gave for the game of rugby and club rugby, is really exceptional. And obviously a lot of youngsters are looking up to you guys, so keep on doing your work. Lucania, I think you can still go 2 more seasons.
Here we go.
2 more seasons.
Maar moet niet een overspelen, man. Don't let it us, please. Please.
And then obviously we had a derby Kayla Tira, 28-18.
Annie Ravy.
Annie Ravy. Annie Hope.
Ravens meet
Annie Hope.
Florida Park.
Annie Hope.
I think that's the toughest park ever, bro.
Hoe zeg van ik is het
Ja.
lipat van die
Kijk je hoe hij speelt voelen, ze spelen in Polen.
Yo, me forgot these songs. But they are, once again, it's up for Tigerbug supporters. They back Tigerbug all the way, bro.
Nice.
Yo, and it's difficult to win it.
Ja.
Tough in die hoek, is tough in die hoek. And then obviously, you need more beating Matis. Echte Danny Craven, huh?
I was proud of it, so I was
Yeah,
so happy.
Nice. Obviously, we know JR is also
There is
coaching
the
at
two winners.
JR's coaching at that party.
Boys, Tayar, you coaching there, but sorry, boys. My first time winning at Marty's, for me, it's a big thing. For the rest of the year, it's a big thing.
Sy sê sy gaat nog volgende jaar praat hoor.
Gemakkelijk. Soms net even. En guys.
Sy sê sondagoggend bel sy hoor, maar wie het van Baties gewen?
We go.
And then obviously, I mean, big games in the Super League 8.
Yo.
Durbanville playing Villages
Yeah.
at Durbanville,
Yeah.
beating them 23 points to 21.
Sure.
Tough. But I mean, Durbanville, in Durbanville.
Yeah.
Difficult game.
Moeilijk, ja.
It's tough.
Difficult game,
It's
really.
tough. As amper soos jy gaan speel in Brakpan, man. It's tough in Durbanville.
Dat is
Nooit.
moeilijk, ja.
And obviously VDE, let's say die
former
Madrid
club.
van
Ja, boys.
die Madrid
Real
van
Madrid.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I check yeah, those guys. Nee, listen, I was there for the second half of the game. It was a nat in geweest, bro. Het was wait, maar hij pak forwards van hulle, bro. Hulle het net gekom aan mekaar, chipped away. And obviously they got the results, you know. It was a wet one and the handling was good, bro. That's the one thing I took out of that game. The handling was great.
40 points to 11 against
Yeah.
St. George's.
Yeah.
Dat wil gedoen
Het
word.
wil gedoen is, bro. And St. George's, they threw the ball around as well, you know, as they do.
Ja, nee.
But
Bro,
the physicality, man, van die stijl.
I think you can destroy St. George's at your hometown, over your home field.
Maar ga na, guys.
Go to
Gaan
Castro.
naartoe?
Kirkland Ball.
Dat is alle ouens dat hy wind kan speel, bro.
Hy's 'n klompie pitbulls man ja, hulle wil keer word.
Sy kan 'n wye paas gee. Dan vat die wind hom saam as hy maar nou 'n wye paas gee. Hy bal bly.
Die wind is dan getune op hulle channel, man.
And then obviously Super League A. Operational Pawate Stadium. Super League B, sorry. Operational Pawate Stadium. Nail buite ook last minute. Bellville beating Bella 32 points to 31. Huh?
Well done, Coach Jonty.
Dat wil gedoen word.
On time, last minute. So well done, Bella.
And then obviously the log leaders, Macassar, I think they're second on the log now currently. Macassar, 2 out of 2. 29 points to 24 against Vineyards in Macassar. And then Goodwood beating Franzoek in Franzoek.
Sure.
39-33.
Hy wil gedoen wees, né?
Ja, oor daar gaat verloren, die French koning, meneer. Dat is moeilijk.
Dat is Tava, ja.
Moeilijk, ja.
And then Connect NTK beating Kalmon 39-13 in Pero. It was a tough encounter there. NTK finding their feet after they lost against Goldrower, so kudos to them. And then Super League C, we have obviously Strand beating Delft 24-17 in Strand. Tough at Gastro. Tough at Gastro.
100%.
And then Atlantis losing again to All Saints in Atlantis 20-33.
This league doesn't make sense for me. One weekend Atlantis is here, other weekend they play.
But they're not peaking currently in the league. 2 out of 2 losses, so
sure.
Hopefully they can bounce back because they my team in Super League C. Okay. I really enjoy. I mean, I played sevens end of last year, and I enjoy the way that I man kan haloop. Yes, I maak nothing nice.
Sure.
And then Busy Bees beating Esterhuizen to 23-15. Gardens beating Langa 19-11. And Scottsdene Central beating Pineal Villages 34-12.
Makkelijke 5 punten, né?
Ja, wat?
Scottsdene met 'n makkelijke 5 punten.
Is tough, meneer. Scottsdene. Is tough, meneer. Jy kan nie daar kom en gaan jy nee, brother. As regels. They can net maak soos hy wil. And then that's our Super League A, Super League B and Super League C rugby fixtures. Results, sorry. And then obviously, like you guys know, we are a ongoing thing that we are doing now, and will probably end next week, is our ball drive. So keep on sharing love, keep on supporting us. One ball, we're just looking for one ball. Also give it 2, 3, 4.
Just one make a difference in one person's life.
One ball. And we are gonna obviously take it to the necessary schools within the community 100%. And share the love that we gave with them, with you guys on our social media as well as on our show. We'll obviously pop up the fixtures for you guys. You guys can go through it, and we'll obviously post on our social media. And then there is Saldana top 8. So as jy niks het om te doen nie en jy kom uit die kyk en jy wil rugby kyk, please watch the Saldana top 8. It's gonna be amazing. 100%. There are 2 clubs from the Western Cape, Super League A involved, Tigerberg and Hamilton. So please show your love there.
Here we go, Tigerberg. Let's go,
show
boys.
Your love there. And then obviously we'd like to thank our sponsors, SSA Custom Designs and FLM Attorneys, for backing us all the way. And then guys, please don't hesitate. Go on JR's Corner. They have some bands that they are selling. Please share some love. If you don't know what we're talking about, we will pop it up for you, as well as go on JR's Corner.
Yeah, we go.
Geliefde man, like, share, subscribe.
Here we go.
Check out what us doen.
Why not?
Guys,
Why not?
we need you to like,
Share.
Subscribe and comment. All 8 podcasts. Charles Corner. Here we go.